Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Amazon's Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, expensive, bad fanfic show for people who've never read Tolkien.
Right.
But like to
But
pretend,
if you did, you're a racist.
But you're racist. So now there's an issue coming up with some of the cast members. And Geeky's going to lead this video because I don't care about this show.
I saw this earlier and I put this up on Twitter like this morning. They're talking about how the cast had to deal with threats and hacks and racism, had to have a therapist on set and all this other crap. But it's interesting because before we talk about that, they're getting ready to start the promotion for season 2 has already started. Yeah. And you know this because in the last couple weeks, all these articles have been popping up. The Rings of Power season 2 is a big Galadriel story to tell. And then they have here, you know, I've read Lord of the Rings dozens of times. An unhappy Tolkien fan should give the Rings of Power a second chance. And there's all these story after story after story, all within the last, like, May 10th. This one was May 22nd, all within the last couple weeks. So there's a concerted effort to already start case building for season 2. Season 1 didn't do jack shit. But they're trying to argue that it did, but it didn't. And now they're case building for season 2. So now with their case building, now we're going to have to discredit the trolls, and we're going to have to make people understand that if you agree with not watching the show, you're a terrible person. So out comes this one. Okay, so before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do. Woohoo! I'm going to tell you the truth. I have not watched Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. I have zero interest in it. A lot of people noped out after the first or second episode. They said hardly anybody that started watching it watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it was that bad. So do you think those people are going to come back for season 2?
No, but they're the PR, you know, trusted media, hype machine has turned on the last couple weeks for about season 2. And when that wasn't working, oh my God, guys, we had to have an on-set therapist because of racism. Here we go again. Before the last season, they kept leading with racism, which turned so many people off. And now leading into season 2, they're starting the racism shit again.
Again, do you think people are going to come back for this? They're not. They're going to look at this and be like, man, I just would watch the show, but there's a lot of baggage. This is like, I don't want to be called a bigot or a racist or whatever.
Leading up to the first one, look here, like last year. The Rings of Power, everyone is tired of toxic fans. Star Wars officially responds to toxic Lord of the Rings fans. The controversy explained, toxic fans. And then you look over this one. If you don't go toxic fans, you can go with racist trolls. Original Lord of the Rings cast pushes back against the Rings of Power racist criticism. Actors speak out about racist backlash. Racist. They were painting everyone who disagreed with them as racist. Never mind the fact that in the books and in the films, they weren't diverse like they are in the movies. I think that's a bad thing. But how do you even explain where they all went?
Yeah, Tolkien's Middle Earth was based on England. It was based on Europe. It was like supposed to be folklore for English people. So yeah, if there's a distinct lack of diversity, take it up with Tolkien. But you know what? You had a Tolkien expert and you fired them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this whole thing. This is a bad D&D fanfic.
No, you know what this is? This is diversity inclusion initiatives. This is, we have to race bend characters and change stuff because we have to have inclusion and we have to use it as a shield. Like we saw with, you know, The Little Mermaid and now Cleopatra and then Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
and at this point, look, I think most people are tired of getting angry. They're tired of yelling about it. What they're doing to get their voices heard is they're not watching. Right. They're not buying.
But if you complain, even if it has something to do with it, it's because you're a racist troll. It's not because, you know, your version sucks. Because I don't understand your things. Everybody said it was boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Like 70-some% who started watching it didn't finish it because it sucked.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. You don't hear these same conversations coming up as often for House of the Dragon because the show's actually pretty good and people actually watch it. And they do have black characters in that show as well. And those characters in the books were not black, but people didn't care because the show was good. I mean, some people care.
You know, so why was it quiet? You know, because these were all like September, locks at racism. And before that, leading up to the show. Why was it so quiet? And now all of a sudden it's coming up again because it's the PR hype for the season 2 of the show. that no one's going to watch.
Yeah, so this could either be their PR machine, or I think, this could be AI telling them what's going to get clicks, because they do have programs.
In lockstep? Okay, I can see that with one outlet. But the thing is,
they're all using the same program.
But they're all in lockstep.
So I
think this is a PR thing, is what I think it is. So now, to the point of this. Apparently, I'm going to say his name wrong. Is Ismael Cruz Cordova? If I said that wrong, I do apologize. I'm not good at names.
You're just a bigot.
Said that they had to hire on-set therapists to deal with the racist backlash. On this article, they talk about they had the harassment. And according to Variety, they had to put measures in place to ensure the actors are protected from attacks both on social media and in person. You need support when this happens because the voices are so loud they're coming at you from so many places. The actor elaborated that the series brought a therapist into the fold so actors who felt like they needed help had access to a suitable professional. I knew there was something there, someone there seeing me completely, and it wasn't just as an actor. And then he goes on about talking what happened. Harassment went beyond messages online, though. My phone got hacked. I had bank account attempts being hacked. My PayPal got hacked. My friends got messages. I got death threats. I got things mailed to me. People found my address. It was a lot of that. Now, going to say straight up, don't ever behave this way. This way is not acceptable. But I'm going to tell you, too, you get it on both sides.
Yeah, we've had almost all of that.
You get it on both sides. This idea that only the actors got harassed to try to make you feel sorry for them so you watch a show. Yes, I'm sure they did. I 100% believe it. But the whole idea that poor them, they got harassed by trolls. Well, I hate to break it to you, fucking sweetheart. Everybody who doesn't agree with the show, who didn't like the show, got fucking harassed by trolls too.
Yeah, we had people, let's see, they tried to hack our Instagram account before. They've tried to hack our PayPal
all our social medias.
All of our social media accounts they've tried to hack.
They tried to get us shut down multiple times.
People tried to find our home address before.
Oh, they actually, they try to post different things thinking it's our home address.
And it's not our home, but that's okay. Let them be dumb. You know what I'm saying? So they've actively tried to do that.
They found pictures of our kids and put it up on boards. Had a rape poll about me.
Had a rape poll. I mean, it's just like, this stuff happens. If you have any kind of a platform at all, especially if you, and stuff that we do, we, call out bullshit, so you get the most mental people, take things to extreme, and it's the same here. I mean, it could even be people trying to pretend to be. I mean, that's on both sides too. People trying.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's had that before.
We're gonna pretend to be an alt-right Nazi, because I had people, for the longest time, Twitter till I figured out how to this person's there's certain things about them that aren't right. They put the mustache on. They try to pretend I'm like one of your fans. I'm Mr. MAGA. How you doing? I like my guns and my racism. I'm a MAGA man.
Because they assume they think we're Republicans.
Yeah, and they just have a hit list of.
But it's funny to me because it's not funny, haha, but ironic about this. And we don't even get it bad as some people. Some people got it much, much worse than us, and I 100% know that. So I think all the behavior is bad and necessary. There's no reason to hack this guy's account, to contact his friends, to send him things in the mail because you don't like the character he was hired to play. Not his fault that Amazon changed this stuff and that this fanfic's the way it is. He's just hired to do a job. I mean, if you're hired to do a job, you're going to take the job because you need the job or you want the job, not because, you're the wrong kind of person for that job. I mean, unless you're, saying you're a doctor and you're not or something like that. But I'm just it's not this person's fault. So it's never okay. But what is this person's fault? Other people around the show's fault is they're blaming everything on racism. And saying that, if you hate this, you're a racist troll. I think a lot of the backlash they got was amplified by the shitty hot takes they were putting out there leading up to the show, calling anybody who disagreed with it a terrible person.
Actually, I would agree with that. I think if Amazon PR had shut its mouths, however many of them there are, and just let the show succeed or fail on its own merit, I don't think these actors would have been put in the crosshair as much as they were. But they're put in the crosshairs because they lead with, the bigots are mad, the bigots are mad. Hey, everybody, the bigots are mad. Look what happened to Kelly Marie Tran, the bigots are mad. And it's my God, they want a martyr. They want a martyr.
Up till the show came out, and when the show, this is a constant, you can see all this, let me pull it up here. You can see all this, toxic, racism. It's okay, a lot of the crap we get are usually almost always Star Wars or She-Ra fans or Masters of the Universe people. Almost always. And if they're not defending Kevin Smith, which Kevin Smith still fucking lied. I'm sorry if you don't like to hear that. That's all we ever said. And he did lie, turned out. And we were even cool about it and said, okay, well, you're promising that it's not true. We'll take you at your word. Lied. She-Ra stuff was an agenda-driven shithole of crap, and it was every stupid identity politic you can stick in there just for the sake of sticking it in there. And these, I know, but you can't stick certain things in there. But we've got so much of the shit we got, like the rape porn, I think, stemmed from the She-Ra thing.
Yes.
And meanwhile, their PR leading up to the show was, if you don't like it, you're a misogynist, you're racist, you're a phobe, you're against LGBTQ people. All this shit that wasn't true. You're just like, what the hell? I don't like her costume. That's what led to a lot of the bad things that we had happened to us and the bad behaviors that were over the top ridiculous, because these people were basically weaponized to go out there and harass anybody who disagreed.
Mentally ill.
Mentally
ill people that are weaponized.
If people were coming and harassing these people to the point they had to hire a therapist on set, which honestly I think a therapist on set anyways is probably a good idea. If they were weaponized that far to harass this, you can blame the PR and the narrative around the show, including the ones coming from the actors. You don't like it, you're a blankety blank blank blank. Those people who are probably mentally ill took it too far. It's never acceptable. Don't ever fucking do it.
No.
It's not going to change anything. It just gives them more ammunition, which is probably, why we said sometimes it's their own people doing it. Because it's like you see those movies where the girl's like, oh my God, I'm in danger. Oh my God, someone sent me a spider or a dead cat or something like that. And it turns out she's psychotic and she sent it to herself. They do that too.
Yeah, I think there are people that are trying. I mean, I don't think it's the actors doing that, but I do think that there are people on, and I think it's both sides of the aisle. I want to be clear. I've seen examples on both sides. I'm like, what the frick is wrong with you? But there are people that want to, create martyrs, or they want to, show, like, they want to own people by being, look, your side's awful.
It's like, it doesn't help anyone.
Actually us.
It's actually just making it worse.
Yeah.
And it's actually putting people like these actors, or people like, YouTubers or whoever you're mad at, into dangerous situations, much more dangerous than what is warranted by them not liking the same thing you like.
It's a disproportionate amount of seething hatred for people. And a lot of times, in the case of YouTubers, just side note here, 95% of the time, our biggest detractors are failed YouTubers. Like, I swear to God, I look at like the very first thing I look for. We have somebody that will not let it go. I'm like, I bet they have a YouTube channel. I bet they have a Twitch, and they don't have very many subscribers. Yep, there it is, guys. There it is.
Right.
It's always that reason.
But you're hearing about this now because they're trying to promote season 2. They're already preemptively trying to paint people who don't like the show as racist trolls. And look how terrible they are because they harassed this actor. And while I totally believe people did. Yeah. I completely believe it's true.
I absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
That is not indicative of most people.
No.
And the idea that they're still trying to paint everyone who doesn't agree as a terrible person, I've read Lord of the Rings a bunch of times. You need to watch the show again. It's like, so a lot of people they've read the book too, still hated the show.
Yep.
You're allowed to like it. You are completely allowed to like the show. But people are allowed to not like the show. What you're not allowed to do is send death threats and things in the mail and hack people's bank accounts and shit like that. That's going too far. But you are allowed to hate the show, and they're already starting. This is articles coming out today, right when all the PR is trying to swing around to get ready for season 2 of Lord of the Rings, because Amazon has a lot of money on this, and Amazon's probably paying a lot of people to go out there and stir up a lot of shit to make sure that it does better than last time.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, considering there's a writer's strike and, like, the showrunners aren't even allowed on set.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
I mean, this thing's going to be a disaster. I think it's like they also know because there was I'm just dragging the writer's strike in this. Why not?
No one else is talking about it anymore.
Yeah, everybody else has forgotten about it already. Studios are like, oh, yeah, that was a writer's strike thing. That's kind of a pain. Yeah, so I think that this is, like, the last, like, big production that they have in the pipeline, and this can't fail. Like, and plus we know from people on the inside that, like, there are jobs on the line at Amazon Studios if this show fails. They've had people come out and say, and it was multiple, what was it, like Puck News or something?
That'll be the next thing. If you don't want to see diverse people get fired, you better watch the show. Yep. They're going to do everything they can to make people watch the show because it failed so miserably. Well, the initial numbers were fantastic. Well, those numbers didn't hold up. And when you looked at long term, they didn't last either.
sometimes the show's just shit, you know, and people are afraid to call things shit. But what happens is they just nope out. Like you have a silent majority of people that will just nope out of your show, quit buying your product.
Yeah, the drama's not worth it.
The drama's not worth it. And they're like, fuck, I don't even, because the only thing you hear about with this Lord of the Rings was, now we have brown hobbits and the racists are mad.
And if you don't like it, you're racist.
Yeah,
so they're just like, I'm not even going to engage because no matter what I do, I'm going to get harassed.
Yep.
That's not going to win back an audience. I can tell you that not because you put diversity in your show so much, is that's what you're leading with for everything. And you're already starting to call people names again and try to say, here's why you need to watch season 2. And the poor people of season 1 had to have a therapist on set because terrible people who didn't like this show. And I'm sure it's probably a handful of people. Yep. And, you know, it's unacceptable.
Yep.
So if you're doing that kind of shit, stop. It's not cool.
Yeah, but again, the studios are baiting. This is their PR. When they market it like this, I mean, they're marketing it like it's 2016. When you market your show as, now we're diverse, and if you hate it, you're awful. Neener. It blows up in your face every time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're putting your actors in.
Well, the actors, but to be fair, though, the actors themselves were out there saying the same thing leading up to the show. They put the crosshairs on themselves. If you just did your job and then go out there trying to antagonize fans, you know, because I mean, I'll argue, and I know it. If I would just not say anything about She-Ra or Star Wars, whatever, I probably wouldn't get harassed. I put a crosshair myself by saying something, but you know, I'm not gonna sit by and watch people get bullied over not liking something they like, because they're allowed to like it. And if you say, I like this show, I'm like, that's cool. You are allowed to like it. I don't know what I'm going to tell you.
Watch them get bullied by mentally ill stands on Twitter for drawing a white mermista from the 1980s instead of a brown mermista.
Telling her to kill herself.
Telling her to kill herself.
A kid.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't the right color, because they whitewashed mermista.
They whitewashed the white character.
They did. And you can tell it was the original character, not the new one. Yeah, exactly. So that's what this is, and they did it to themselves with their narratives leading up to it, and now they're trying to undo the damage by telling people that, oh, you need to watch it, or you're not really a Lord of the Rings fan, and it's coming too, and it's going to get better, I swear. Oh, and because those poor actors had to face such toxic backlash from the horrible people. You all need to tune in because we had to put a therapist on there and to be supportive for them.
Yeah, so if you don't want them to kill themselves, you don't want me to kill myself, you'll do what I say.
I mean, they're not saying that, but I'm just saying I wouldn't put it past the media to go there.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway. We're going to wrap it up. That's what it's about.
Whatever. Nobody's going to watch season 2. Just nobody's going to watch season 2. This thing's been dead on arrival. It was supposed to be a Game of Thrones killer, and it just they killed themselves before the first episode even aired because people were already tired of the hobbits are brown, the bigots are mad. It's like whatever.
And just don't harass people, guys. Don't go and harass people. Don't go and try to hack their accounts. It does nothing but give them more ammunition, but in reality, it's probably more likely their own side doing it than it is whatever. Yeah. But, you know, we can't prove that.
Can't prove that.
So just don't do it to people. People, you disagree with somebody, they might not like the same thing as you, and you can get mad about it, but you don't need, and you can say you're an asshole, but you don't go and behave in such a manner.
Right.
Ever.
So we're going to wrap this up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye. Sorry, I yelled loudly.
That's okay. I got the limiter on.
Okay. So
you can tell my
kick setting.
Yeah, you can tell. Wait,
really? It automatically limits it when I yell?
It does. When the pitch gets too high, it does. Sometimes if you sound like all robotic, it's because it's bringing the decibels down.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.